you're here today. You know how it is. All this talk on the media, about spying, eavesdropping, imperial people's disorders, about terror, the war on terror, about spying, eavesdropping. You know what people are getting into this day and age. What they've gotten themselves into when they elected Bush. I fear also that some of this tapped my television. All this wiretapping, eavesdropping, and spying. You know what happens this day and age if you're called a terrorist? You could get a one-way ticket to Guantanamo Bay, Florida. To Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
Guantanamo Bay?
Yeah. Or you could get your head chopped off. Or you could go end up going on a hunting trip with Dick Cheney!
Ted, where do you get this stuff?
Well, with all that aside, why don't we get to today's show, which has our special guest, John Paul.
Gotta restrict the
Hello.
camera. So.
How poor Boo.
Oh, no. I'm
What
sorry,
is
I
that?
don't know, I don't
You
speak.
don't speak
How are
French.
you?
Comment allez-vous?
Comment
Comment allez-vous?
Comment allez-vous?
That's much
Très
better.
bien. Y vous?
Bien. Gracias,
You
por
said
Boo.
E, because it's
Okay.
Spanish.
I have
Et
no
vous?
idea.
Et vous?
Hey, vous, okay.
Hello,
Hey.
John Paul Gomez.
Close.
How are you?
Fine, no problem.
You know, Lindsay's gonna get married.
Yeah.
I knew it.
I'm off
You
the
knew
market.
Who you gonna get married to, Linz?
I'm gonna get married to my boyfriend Vince.
Vince who?
Vince Friel.
Vince Friel. So
Yeah.
you'll be Lindsay Friel, right?
Actually, I'm gonna be Lindsay Harris Friel.
Lindsay Harris Friel.
Yep. I'm gonna
Yeah,
have
I've
two
heard
last
this.
names.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Just like me, right?
Mm.
What's
Yeah.
your
Joanne McDowell Gomez.
Joe McDowell? McDowd or McDowell?
McDowell.
McDowell.
Not McDowd.
I'm sorry, I got it wrong. I had stuff in my ears, I didn't hear it correctly.
Look at this. Says Jerry Seinfeld Halloween
Seinfeld.
illustrated by James Bennett.
And he
Yeah.
also has an Andy Warhol book there, Ted, JP.
This is, see this one here too, John Paul?
This is what?
See that, that's an artist book.
Artist book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Artist book.
Andy Warhol's an artist.
So Ted, how's it going?
Oh, fine.
Is James still your, job coach? Or did
Yeah.
James quit? Okay,
Yeah, he's still there.
he's still coming. What days,
still hanging in there.
yeah, what days does he come?
Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Unfortunately, Jerry's no longer with me.
Jerry?
This is Jerry.
Jerry used to be Monday and Tuesday?
Jerry used to be his Monday, Tuesday girl.
Yeah.
She was great, she used to do stuff like cut his nose hairs for him and trim his ear hairs. Yeah.
No,
I think she felt like she was a little too emotionally attached.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but just well,
Do you wanna show Mrs. G the pictures from when you guys went tubing?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can see
Cause
that.
you used a waterproof camera.
Oh, yes, that, my friend did that when we went to Bermuda. She
Oh,
went to
great.
bell diving.
Oh,
And she
wonderful.
had a camera.
That had to be fun. So what's up with you these days, JP?
Yeah.
Beats me.
How poor Boo.
Oh, poor Bill. Okay. Oh, where's the, oh, right here. Is this,
Well, some of them are in the
Is
pool
here?
downstairs and some of them are in Dorney Park. JP, is it okay if Ted videotapes you?
where's the
Why not?
pool? Here.
There's a pool, it's on the other side of the building.
Oh, okay,
That's-
okay.
that's-
Because
That's over
sometimes I
there.
park down there.
Yeah, it's like, I
Yeah.
think it's like diagonally that way.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah. Maybe it's creaming and shivering time for the chocolate.
Did these people know you were taking their pictures?
Yeah, Ted, did you have permission? Did they sign a waiver?
Yeah, they signed a waiver.
Yeah, they did sign a waiver. Was it a waterproof waiver?
Cool, wow, this camera, you can take pictures underwater. See that?
Underwater.
Yeah, it's a special camera.
So JP, some of these pictures that Andy Warhol did are really cool because he would silk screen them.
I never had a camera like that one before.
No, maybe someday you'll buy one. You can take
Oh.
John Paul had an encounter with a dolphin.
Did you
Whenever,
really?
you mean whenever some of our young cousins invite us to each swim party?
Uh-huh.
Or when we go back to, St. Petersburg and you go swimming again, you could take a picture of the dolphin when it comes to swim with you.
There's a dolphin that swims with John
Well,
Paul?
we went to a place called Captiva Island,
Mhm.
he and two of my sisters. And my sisters and I were sitting on the beach and he was in the water. And all of a sudden this big black thing goes like this right behind him.
You thought it was a
Screaming.
shark, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Uh-huh, and it was a dolphin?
And he
Wow.
was looking at it and he turned around and his eyes just completely covered his face. And he came out in the water
Oh, like
fastest I've
this?
ever seen him.
Was it scary?
He thought it was a manatee,
Really?
you know.
Exactly.
But then, I mean, as soon as it went down and then it started swimming, we realized it was a dolphin.
And it came
But-
over just to check and see
I
what
mean,
was
it
going
must
on?
have been, it must have been less than 3 feet away from him.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's how close they got.
Wow,
And that was exciting,
that's very exciting.
yeah.
You know, people paid thousands of dollars
Yes,
to
they
have that
did.
experience, and you
So
got it for
sad.
free.
Oh,
Who's this guy?
That's James.
Oh, okay.
James. James.
That's your
Meister.
roommate, isn't it?
He's not a roommate.
He's his job coach. He's
Job
his
coach.
support guy.
Job
He
coach.
helps Ted,
He helps them with his
stuff
stuff.
by himself.
So mom is on her way over, I think.
Yeah, she had told me last
Oh,
night that
okay.
she had to go home and get your dad dressed and then
Of course.
she would come over.
Dad has to prevent her from doing anything she
Yeah,
needs
I
to do.
know.
No.
You
I
sure you
like
wanna
how
get
there's-
married, Lindsay?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Las Vegas is looking pretty good. I love all the pictures that are taken of Ted's feet like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, at first it was, everybody was really excited
Yeah.
for the first few weeks, and then it got to this point that we realized that the amount of stress was increasing so fast over the course of just a few weeks
Imagine.
that I wasn't sleeping. I was sick all the time. I was just like shaky and miserable, and I was also impossible to. I could tell that I was impossible to be around.
Yeah.
And but it was because, on the one hand, Vince and I were kind of going, yeah, you know, we've got tons of time, and then mom and dad are both going, oh. And the problem is that dad is going, I will control everything, and then mom is so excited that every idea she comes up with explodes into 10 more ideas. And then each of those, they're like spider eggs. And then every one of those 10 ideas explodes into another 10, which then explodes into another 10.
Oh my gosh.
So we've got the place and the date, which is good because we did not know that October is the #1 month for weddings in Pennsylvania.
Is it really?
It is, because of the foliage.
Wow.
It's the #1 month for weddings in Pennsylvania, and also because the humidity's low and the weather's
Yeah.
consistent.
Yeah, that's true.
October's the new June.
Yeah, it's one of the nicer months
Yeah.
of the year here.
So
Yeah.
we never even considered that, and we thought we were being all, you know, we thought we were being smart and totally like bucking the system.
I know.
Wrong. We met with the caterer, we like the caterer. What's really good is that Vince really loves food. He is really a food guy, he cooks really, really well. And he and Ted get along really well, which is great.
Good.
Yeah.
And then, so fortunately, he and the caterer were totally able to just like, everything was, you know, so we got, so everything's settled with that. We're waiting for the contract to arrive in the mail. And other than that, everything else, I think we can kind of just take our time. You know, my aunt is gonna, my mom's sister-in-law Connie is an amazing seamstress. And I've always wanted her to make my dress, so she's gonna do that. And,
Don't worry.
then, Ted's gonna be the videographer, and Ted is also gonna be the lieutenant commander usher,
Okay.
and, he's gonna.
Yeah, I have to walk my mom down the aisle.
You do.
Yes,
That's
that's
your
nice,
job.
yeah. John
Yeah.
Paul walked, me down the aisle.
Oh, good, that's
Mhm.
perfect.
At David's wedding,
Mm-hmm.
he was an usher, a groomsman.
And
Yeah.
we're gonna, I'm trying to think what all else,
Where are you gonna have it?
at the old mill in Rose Valley,
Oh.
do you know that?
Maybe
It's
really
really
honored
hard
if you
to
would
find.
come.
It
Maybe
will
honored
be,
if you and Joppa would come.
well, Ted,
We'll see
We'll see.
who she can invite, okay?
we'll see how many people I can invite,
That's right.
okay?
That's
Okay.
Because we
right.
still haven't settled, we still
It
haven't
doesn't
settled on our
matter.
number yet.
It doesn't matter
The-
to us.
Well, because the other thing is that Vince's mom wants to invite a lot of people.
Yeah,
So
that's
Vince's
right, so you have to be.
Vince's mother wants to invite half of South Philly. The old mill is like, if you're in Rose Valley and you sort of go,
So, John Paul,
like down near the Hedgerow Theater.
Yeah.
So it's like down deep in the woods kind of thing,
Okay.
and but it's very nice, it's an old, furniture, it started out as a snuff mill, and then it became a textile mill, and then in the twenties they started making furniture there, it was redesigned by Will Price, and it was an old furniture factory, and now it's, you know, it's sort of a social club for, it's basically a place where people who live in the woods like to go out and
Have you ever
drink.
tried to something yet?
Okay.
So, but it's gonna be good.
It'll be beautiful if it's in
Yeah,
the woods
it's gonna be
in
terrific,
October,
yeah.
gosh.
So, anyway, but that's, you know, like,
I've had that problem
everything
too.
got to a
That's true,
point
Ted.
where I started getting so stressed out that I was just getting to be really
Beaten up
impossible
by
to
bottle
live with.
silk
Or at least
Yeah.
I couldn't live with myself, I was driving myself crazy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, you know what, this is getting to be way too nuts. So, now we're figuring, okay, we got the location, we've got the date we want, you know, now we could just kinda go on everything else, we don't have to worry. Like, another thing that's good is, he's been in a number of bands for years, cause he's a musician, and his best friend is currently in a band, that the lead singer of the band is a wedding DJ. So, that's
There you
easy,
go.
and she'll let him, you know, pretty much decide what kind of music gets
Went to
played, as
Hershey
opposed
Park.
to just going, okay, now we're gonna play electric
Yeah.
slide.
So did I.
Now we're gonna do the funky chicken, so, anyway,
Actually, there on
Are you gonna get
Sunday,
married in church or are you gonna get married at the
we're
old
gonna get
mill?
married at the old mill, cause
We
we
did
want,
last
we'll have
Sunday.
one-stop shopping, you know,
Uh-huh.
we don't wanna
Yeah.
have people looking
why
around
did I
for
think
places.
you were?
Right, that's a good
Um,
idea.
That's it.
It seems like at least once a month, there's people driving into our driveway with bad directions for the old mill, looking for a wedding that they're going to.
Oh my God.
And I always thought it would be funny to have our wedding at our house, but instruct everybody to drive to the old mill
Mill,
going,
yeah.
is this 915 Manchester Avenue?
Yeah.
And one time, Ted and I were getting ready to go somewhere, and all of a sudden, all these cars start pulling into the driveway, lots of them. There was a traditional Korean wedding going on at the old mill. So all these people for whom English was not their first language were pulling in the driveway going, old mill?
Oh, no.
And so I'm out here trying to give them directions back in sign language. Right,
Oh
anyway.
my God.
Yeah, we found out, actually that night we were going out to Kendall to visit my grandmother. And my grandmother, we sat with my grandmother and a couple of her friends, or somebody, maybe it was the next day, somebody said, oh, I just went to the most delightful wedding at the old mill in Rose Valley. It was a traditional Korean wedding and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, they were all at my house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know about that one.
Yeah, so, anyway, Ted's gonna be the videographer, he's gonna make the video,
Okay.
and he's gonna be the best brother,
Wow.
so it's all gonna be good. But, and in the meantime, Ted has plenty of time to work on his table manners, table manners. Ted, do you think Vince's dog should be in the wedding? I don't think they allow dogs at the old mill.
No, they don't.
No dogs allowed.
We just went to a wedding on Saturday next door.
Oh, really, next door?
Yeah, they got
That's
married under an arbor in the
Nice.
front yard, and then they
Mhm.
had a big tent in the backyard, and they had the reception.
That
It's
sounds
very
good.
nice.
There's this other autistic I know that got married.
Who?
Seems like Bradley or something.
How do you know?
He was in my special Olympics group. He married another autistic girl.
That's interesting.
Wow.
You know,
When did that happen?
1999.
Got it.
Wow.
There was some consideration very early on about having it at my parents' house. And Mom felt like, 15 months was not enough time to clean the house. So that was dropped. We were sitting here going, but why can't this just be, okay, you know what? Fine,
Yeah.
fine,
Well,
you know,
Yeah,
fine.
it's better.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
well,
But if Dad
Last time-
decides that he's gotta be the general too much more.
Uh-huh.
Last time back
Vegas,
it's over. It's all over. Well,
No.
something, Vince works for the district attorney's office in Philadelphia as a
Mhm.
paralegal. And he found out that if you get married at City Hall in Philadelphia, they will let you use the observation deck up in the tower of
Oh.
City Hall.
Okay.
And at first I was like, you know, I
Where
was,
Rick Mariani
yeah,
tried to jump.
exactly, I keep thinking to myself, you know, if it's good enough for Rick Mariano.
But it was funny when they said he was gonna jump, that place is
It's completely sealed.
enclosed.
It's completely
It's
sealed.
like, what was
Well,
he gonna do?
Yeah, exactly. Well, the other thing was, at the time, I was living at 12th and Cypress Streets, which is between Spruce and Pine, so I was almost in the same neighborhood.
Oh.
I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone, and I'm standing out on my balcony, and there was all this noise going on, and she said, "What's all that noise?" And I said, "I don't know, must be a parade or something." So it turned out there was like some kind of a jazz concert at City Hall that night,
Oh.
and he just happened to go take a walk up there.
I'm all a trend.
Wow.
Yay, Mom's here.
Mm.
So, yeah, but there was always, that place was such a carnival, there was always crazy stuff going on. Actually, last New Year's, Ted stayed with me for New Year's, when I lived at 12th and Cypress Streets, and what did we do on New Year's Day, Ted?
We saw the Mummers.
Oh, wow.
But it was really cool, because we walked out of the Mummers Parade, and we were like, we don't need to, we'll just put on our coats.
Oh.
And then we got down there, and we thought about it it wasn't that bad, but we thought about it for a few minutes, we looked at each other like, let's go put on some hats and scarves and gloves and stuff, and then we went back, and eventually we were like, this is boring, let's go home.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the night before, we went and saw La Cage
Wash the
aux Folles.
foe.
We saw La Cage aux Folles,
Jinx Yomi Soda.
and Takes Out Your Coke, you're right. That was the first time Teddy ever saw drag queens, so we got to have a lot of interesting conversations. And, then there was a
In
party
case you don't know,
afterwards,
a
and
drag
all my
queen is a
friends
man
were
that dresses up like a woman.
Ted, let mommy in. She's probably got her hands full.
Hi.
I just got this new job at,
Fresh hot pizza?
I just
Hot
got this,
pizza.
Panera?
Yeah,
Panera's-
Panera.
Wow.
I just got
okay.
this.
No,
I just
it's
got
not from
this
Panera's, it's
job
from
for a couple of weeks working at,
Renatos.
for Once Upon a Nation,
Renatos.
working for Historic
Yes.
Philadelphia. And it's
Is
a
that bad?
standing up and walking around
That's not
all the
too
time
bad at
job.
all.
Okay.
So I'm in pain
Here,
from
Mom.
here
Lindsay,
to here. Yeah,
No Panera's
you're gonna make me
pizza.
get up off the couch?
you're on the payroll, honey,
I
get
know,
to
I'm on
work.
the payroll, all right, I'm moving.
I would have been here sooner, but it suddenly dawned on me that I didn't get anything to drink.
Okay.
So,
I thought we were going to the restaurant.
we were, but I'm
Oh,
waiting
okay.
for BJ's to
Okay.
call and say my tires are done.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
I didn't wanna
No
leave
problem.
too
So,
many
Ted.
loose.
You wanna move those?
I thought that I could get my tires put on the car while I shopped.
You wanna
Yeah.
get out?
I called them last night. I
Five
said, do you
plates.
do that? Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, it didn't occur to me that it's
Get
first
out
come,
5
first
plates.
served. And this woman,
Now,
the
I
guy
can't eat
told
meat.
me,
But you guys
was
can.
there,
Is it because you're a
got
vegetarian?
her tires yesterday,
I'm trying
and
to
had
lose
them in her
weight.
car,
I eat meat.
You can
and
eat
put
meat.
on as soon as they
I'm not a
opened it. They
vegetarian.
You are not a vegetarian, you are
Oh,
a.
I said.
And the third one's ahead, you
You're
gotta
not
go
a
to your
vegetarian,
job,
you're
so we need to
Autism.
get truck
Autism.
with stuff.
Oh,
And
Uh,
fortunately, Lindsay and
autistic.
Kevin were shopping.
It's his word for an autistic.
She took her car
Autism, I
to
like
do
that.
his
Have
shopping,
you ever
and
heard
then they were
sometimes
going
we
to,
use the word Audi?
so that's what I did, but I got white pizza.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, I got white and regular, cause I didn't know how much
You're
white.
smart, people say you're a smarty.
I am a smarty, yes.
You are a smarty.
Okay.
Wow.
All
Looks
right, Ted,
good.
how many plates do you have there?
Well,
Would you like to give your guest an Apollo plate so he can serve himself?
those. Trace.
Thank you.
One girl.
Ted, where'd you go? Aha, spatulas. John Paul, would you like, oh, yeah. Fine. John Paul is neat and tidy and never needs additional tools.
My plate isn't clean. Got food on it.
Sorry.
Wait, now we have to fix you something to
Would you
drink.
like some meat or spinach, or what would you
Yep.
like? Okay.
I think I'll turn it up here the same way, huh?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just one?
Yeah, that's fine for now. I may be back.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
All right, now, do you have ice?
Yeah.
Okay, let's put the ice in
I'm
the.
gonna shed a little
Do you have
light.
smaller glasses?
Um,
Do you wanna use these great big glasses? it's you, Lindsay. I would like a smaller glass.
Okay.
John Paul, would you like a glass of soda?
Why not?
I'll get his.
Hmm?
I'm getting it, John.
Oh, okay, Mom's got it.
You just lift this up and stick your hand in. See, this
It
is
should come out
expensive.
this way, yeah. Teddy, why don't you use the?
I just don't like
Oh.
Okay.
the water gets all over the floor.
No, I don't use the water, I just make the ice. Such a hostess. Do we have napkins anywhere, Ted?
John Paul grabbed it, Kate, now.
Oh, okay.
So,
We have a napkin dispenser, which I will put on the coffee table for everyone's enjoyment.
Okay.
Thank you, Mom. You're welcome.
Okay.
Get your pizza?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Mrs. G, did you get your pizza?
I sure did.
See,
in case you don't know, a drag queen is a man who dresses like a woman.
Just for performances though.
Oh, there, and I need that bag.
A drag king is a woman who dresses like a man, but they're just for performances.
Oh.
Hmm.
And they sing like Judy Garland.
Yeah. They know all the show tunes.
Yep.
They sing the show tunes. So, oh, look at your little grandchildren on their little
Yeah,
mats. Isn't that
Same
cute?
size shoe as me. I'm being a bad vegetarian, I'm having some pepperoni. I'm cheating.
Okay. Good night, you can sit here.
No, I'm good.
I love this kind of pizza. I had an ulterior motive.
It's good. It's called white.
It's white pizza, it has spinach and ricotta, I guess some mozzarella and some garlic.
I think they just call it white pizza if it doesn't have tomato on it.
Uh-huh.
Yours looks like it has broccoli on it. Is that a broccoli?
No, I think it's just spinach.
Spinach.
Mom, Vince made 2 huge trays of ziti on Friday night. So we've been eating ziti 3 meals a day.
Oh.
Does she have Italian?
His mother is Italian. Just to give you an idea, her last name is Primavera.
Mm.
His father is Irish and German.
Good mix. Lorna and Amanda. They are.
Well,
Lorna and Mantha, who is that?
Laura and Amanda, the twins. My
Oh,
sister's grandchildren.
oh, that's what they are.
Uh,
I took Josephine.
From South Philly.
The Primaveras from South Philly too.
Well, I had 2 self-ordered stuff for me.
so you can
One,
put your pizza on your feet before you eat it.
well, I had 2 self-orders sent me.
My latest trauma.
You did?
Last week, yeah.
Yeah. One was a,
Self-portraits? You did them yourself?
No,
2
no.
other artists did them at me.
Mm.
One was a caricature of me and a gorilla. And the other one,
Go ahead.
and the other one was a very ugly version made.
Where'd you have it done?
One was at Hershey Park, the caricature was done at Hershey Park, and the self-portrait was done at Kolashnaja in my art class.
Where?
It's very Picasso-esque. His art class in like up in Northern Liberties.
At Project Home.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, he still goes there.
We need to find an adult art class. What about you, John Paul?
Doesn't the
I heard
local
of-
art center have one? Where he
Yeah,
lived
but
there?
I'd like him to fit in
Mm.
with the group. I understand you gave up art for the Timothy School.
yes.
How do you feel about that?
Pretty exhausted of it.
Yeah, he told me. I think I've taken enough art lessons. So I said, did the same thing with the piano. I said, "Hey, after 15 years,
Yeah.
I agree,
Well,
but I wanted
one
it to
day
come
John
from
Paul
you."
will rise again.
Ted, put your arm down.
John Paul will rise again only if he wants to.
So, how was
One day John
Abuelita?
Paul will rise again.
My abuelita, she's doing fine.
Good. I think that's so cute. Because
And
we're
how
actually-
is your father?
He's
Reformed.
fine.
So tell me what the twins are up to. And David.
You mean my twin cousins?
No, your twin,
No,
your
my niece and nephews. Oh,
Yeah.
they're doing just perfect, except that they misbehave themselves too much. I mean, not my old brother Davey, just my niece and nephews.
Mm-hmm.
Without even understanding until they're older to adults like one of each of us.
Yeah, they have to get older.
what were they doing to you yesterday?
I don't know, teasing me?
When you were laying on the couch, what were they doing?
Tickling me.
Tickling you, huh?
And you let them?
Grudgingly.
Nope.
How old
You
are
yell, David, David, David.
you? Should yell, David, control your children. JP, how old are your niece and nephew?
How old,
How old
they're,
are
my twin kids, my twin niece and nephew are, 3 years old. It's like Elmo is. And of course, my other nephew, William, he's 2 years old.
Good year for they trying to get themselves a basketball team as fast as
Does he
possible.
want more? Joanne? Does he want-
Well,
Do you want another piece, John Paul?
Oh, why not?
I know
Just
it's
one.
I know.
I wanted to ask you first, I didn't.
So she had problems conceiving,
Oh,
so she
okay.
went through all that
Oh, I didn't know that,
rigmarole.
okay.
She had the twins and figured that, you know,
Shouldn't have to be careful.
be careful and boom.
Got it.
All I know is like in a art class with 10 other homeless
Wow.
people.
You're not homeless.
No, you
No.
have a home, you have a very nice home.
I know.
You just don't wanna brag about it in front of the people in your art class.
Don't invite him over.
That's where I don't intend to.
Oh my heavens!
Excuse me.
Now, that's one of the things you have to work on before Lindsay's wedding, okay?
Yeah, you really have to,
Oh, that's right.
Mom, if this kid can't have table manners, he's eating in the parking lot.
What?
I'm totally serious.
You cannot belch or fart at the wedding.
Yeah.
For the whole
Sorry.
day.
No belching, no farting, just chewing with your mouth closed.
I'm laughing because he's in the same direction.
You know, I'm actually,
Were you allowed to fart at David's wedding?
Uh-huh.
Did you do it? Did you forget and do it? You
I
did all
actually
day?
I actually was standing there thinking, what do I do if right in the middle of the ceremony, Vince just cuts one right in the middle of it? What am I gonna do?
Just keep on going.
Right.
It's something that nobody will probably hear.
And the thing is, Dad is the worst. And he doesn't filter himself, so he'll just go. You know he'll do it.
I don't know how
What?
you had the misfortune of getting such horrible parents.
I have a wonderful mother. I have a wonderful, wonderful mother.
Well, your father has a frontal lobe head injury. He's lucky to be alive, so I think he could be a little more tolerant. Right, John Paul?
Right.
There are things worse than death.
You're
But
not
what was
supposed
his
to learn
excuse
this till
before
you're
the accident?
Oh, he's just ignorant.
Before the accident, he was a lawyer.
Joanne, I'm getting up to get myself another piece of pizza. May I
Please.
bring you one?
Thank you.
Oh.
That's what I say to people, well, his head injury makes him belligerent and he doesn't censor himself and he's overly emotional. Before his accident, he was a lawyer.
Wait, I'm glad I
Thank you.
got enough said.
That's the worst part.
So, I watched one guy eat all his fries. I mean, he ate all of them.
What
Oh.
guy?
Another guy at Outlet, I mean, he only cleaned his plate.
Okay.
Uh,
Is this, art group part of Elwin?
No, it's a social group.
Okay.
His art class Ted's art class is, at, isn't it called Journey Home?
No, it's not Journey Home.
Polish Donchino.
That was a different one.
Okay, that was Oasis, wasn't it? Oh, I got them all confused.
No, Oasis.
Journey Home is Oasis.
Jump Ball.
Polish Donchino is different.
And where do you go for Coalition Agita?
That Project Home at 1550 Fairmont, Northern Liberties.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'm in there with 10 other homeless people.
Hey, you're not homeless.
Do you like not being there?
Would you
Because
rather
you don't
not
have
be
to
there?
go if you don't wanna be there.
How do you
Even
feel
though
about
I'm
it, Ted?
getting pretty sick of it.
Well, you don't have to go then.
Who takes you there? James?
I think
And another guy, Todd.
Todd is his Monday guy.
Todd is the Monday guy, and he's supposed to be the Monday, Tuesday guy.
He's supposed to be the Monday, Tuesday guy. Lindsay's the Tuesday guy.
I'm the Tuesday guy, but my new job starts on September 5th.
Yeah.
So after August.
Lately, I've been, well, there are times at the end of the day I wanna leave, but then, Todd and the new art teacher, James Webster, they start yakking away, and it's getting too much of my ears and it's getting too much of my psyche about some documentary they wanna do.
Well,
You don't need to be in the documentary.
Todd likes to talk a lot about movies he's gonna make so that people will pay attention to him. That's my theory.
Oh.
It's just like young girls, they always tell them they're gonna put them in a movie if they're nice to them.
Teddy, what do you say?
Excuse me.
At least put your hand over your mouth when you
I
burp,
love,
that everybody can't hear as
I
much.
love introducing Vince's family to autism because they've never met an autistic person.
Oh.
Are they violent? Only if you poke them with sticks. Not any more than I will be in about 10 minutes.
Not compared to Italians.
Yeah, that's pretty much, I keep saying, well, it's just like anybody else, if you annoy
Just
them, they'll
about,
be
John and I
violent.
are just about as harmless as, or just about as harmless as anyone was provoked.
John Paul, I like your shirt.
Yeah, that's just,
Is it true that an elephant is your favorite animal?
not always. The other favorite animals I have,
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
okapis.
What are okapis? What are they?
Okapis are part giraffe, part zebra, part horse.
Wow,
There's one in the Philadelphia Zoo.
One in the Philadelphia Zoo.
Yeah.
I have to go and see it.
That was my next question.
I had this story about this kangaroo, they kept a journal all the time he was at the zoo.
Oh, yeah? You wrote this story?
Yeah,
And you kept a journal about all the other animals?
well, he kept a journal about his stay at the zoo.
Oh.
Monday, I hated it here. Tuesday, I hated it here. Wednesday, I hated it here.
I saw an animal at the San Diego Zoo that I decided was my favorite animal, but now I can't remember what it's called. It looks like a deer. It's only about that high. It's sort of like a cross between a deer and a chihuahua, but they can jump something like 70 stories high or something like that, so
Wow.
they can jump straight up in the air, and that's how they avoid predators, which I thought was really funny.
Napoleon Dynamite, his favorite animal is a liger.
A liger. Yeah. I saw one of those on the.
What's a liger?
It's basically Napoleon Dynamite's favorite animal. It's a cross between a lion and a tiger. Basically, Bedford skills and magic.
I know that liger and tiger rhyme, they sound the
They
same.
do.
So does Niger.
Mm-mm.
Hey,
How about Nigel? That's our rhymes.
Nice.
No. Nigel is a character's name.
hey, John Paul,
Alright, no,
guess what I
it's
saw on the computer the other day? Somebody sent me a movie. My friend Brian sent me part of a Sesame Street episode. It was Law and Order Special Letters Unit, and they were looking for the letter M.
What letter M was that? Oh, that! Yes, I
They were looking
remember.
for the letter M, and they had one Muppet that looked exactly like Richard Belzer, and another Muppet that looked exactly like Christopher Maloney,
Yeah.
and So the
Yeah.
first one went out and he found a cow and they brought the cow in and they said, that's not the letter M. And he said, yeah, but let me show you. And he says to the cow, go ahead, say it. And the cow says, moo.
And then even a mallard duck.
And then they brought in a mallard duck. They said, that's not the letter M, that's a duck. And he said, oh no, I'm not just any duck, I'm a mallard.
Mm-hmm.
But it was written in the same style as Law and Order. You could really see that it also went chung chung. And then finally, the police chief falls asleep on the desk and they're like, somebody better wake him up, do the noise again. Okay, chung chung.
Yeah, I've seen that one since last week on Monday.
It's really good.
Mhm.
And Monday's
Monday's an M word.
What time?
Mm-hmm.
On Sesame Street, I don't know.
Well.
10.
Something like that. It was on the computer, Brian sent it to me.
Yeah, well,
I thought Maloney's head looked kinda like Guy Smiley's head, except with smaller eyes and bigger eyebrows.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked,
Not Guy Smiley.
he's not Guy Smiley, you're right, he's Maloney. And then there was Munch. Munch was the
Oh
one
my
that
God.
was Richard Belzer. It was Mommy was hysterical.
Much is historical. I used to be on homicide.
I know,
used
he's
to
been
love
on all
that
those shows.
shit.
Oh, I do have a MySpace page.
What?
MySpace.
MySpace?
MySpace is a thing on the internet.
Uh-huh.
MySpace kind of stinks too.
Well, they're not pretty much lots of them said their head, but I'm not sure the Brits are registered paying. There's one girl that tried to sell me porn.
Well, maybe you better go off of MySpace.
That's why you should stay away from MySpace.
Maybe that's what made my
That's what
computer
I've
so.
heard about it, that the kids get into, can get into problems with it.
Yes, they do get into trouble with MySpace.
I think you should stay away from it.
What's for dessert, Ted?
Oh my
Oh
God.
my gosh.
We'll
Ted, do we
stop
have,
on the way home.
Ted, do we have any ice
Okay.
cream? We forgot about dessert.
Well,
You're a dessert guy.
oh God.
Oh, no.
Well,
We'll stop at Rita's on the way home, okay?
You can get mango.
Mm-hmm.
Mangoes.
Mango gelati,
mango gelati.
Or whatever you want.
whatever you want.
They might get a lot,
Me and my brother will still stop on the way home, Ted. I mean,
Okay.
for dessert.
Okay.
Well, basically I've gotten a lot of emails from psychologists and who are experts in autism.
You've been getting emails from them?
Through your MySpace page? Ted,
That, but also through Comcast.
hey Ted, you know what? I think you're making it up. I don't think you're telling the truth. I think you're saying it.
Well, through Comcast I am.
Okay, go print one out and show it to him.
He can't have this
Oh, that's
computer. Have some lady fixes computers, comes to your house, and goes like this. There, it's this.
That'll be $100.
65 an hour.
Oh.
Hey, if I know how to do it, I'll do that.
Well, I
You
have,
just go, David!
that's what I do.
How do you feel about computers, John Paul?
Do you use your computer, John Paul, or does your mom use it?
We both use computers.
Do you use the computer?
But he's not connected to the internet.
Nope.
He likes to watch his DVDs on his
Oh.
computer,
Oh.
or he plays games.
Mhm.
But he has CD-ROMs.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Well, Ted has a website called tedharris.pa.
no, it's tedharrispa.tripod.com.
And
The-
it is worth tuning into.
They don't have any CD-ROMs of Get Set to Read too at all.
Did we check that out?
Alright, how about I write it out for you?
Okay, Ted, you can go write it on a piece of paper and then we can look at it later on, okay?
Okay, you write it down, piece of paper.
What's with your, what is
I
it?
don't want to, I'll just write it down.
We got Get Set to Read,
guess you
one of
could
those
have those
DVD,
on
CD-ROM boxes,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
but not Get Set to Read 2.
I don't wanna ask them.
I think he
make
just
one.
likes South Florida Center when he watches TV.
I live in that close on the couch too, but there's covers for it.
Like they don't have Animals Art Workshop 2 either.
No,
No.
or Crayola crowds, great.
So what's the last
And
good
that's
movie you
Corel
saw?
Art Studio 3.
Lindsay
Okay.
told me to.
What's that?
What's the last good movie you saw?
What did we see last week?
Zoom.
What's Zoom?
Zoom is a movie, and it's about strong people
Oh, that's right.
for outer space.
That's right. Isn't it about kids who have special talents, so they make them into superheroes?
Yes.
Yeah,
Some superheroines too.
idiot.
Ted
They
and
remind me of grooms and brides dressed as superheroes and superheroines.
Ted and I saw Pirates of the Caribbean too.
Yeah, we saw one.
Did you like it, John Paul? The
It was
pirate movie?
scary,
Was it scary?
only because of that kraken.
The Kraken was scary. It was a giant squid.
It was a giant octopus.
Giant octopus.
It was very scary. Ted has drawn those for years. In the land of Parathia.
We were gonna see Ant Bully this week, but it's not in the theaters. It's not, it's like a cartoon.
Oh,
yeah.
you go to the movies every week? Since school's out?
No, not really, but we seem to, have spurts where we go once a week,
Mm-hmm,
and then we don't go for a while, and then we go again.
mm-hmm.
Ted saw Lady in the Water, which I
Mm.
wanted to see, so maybe,
Yeah, we didn't see
Who
that.
took him to see that?
probably Todd. I think Todd, Ted, who took you to see Lady in the Water?
Todd.
Yeah, that's still
Was
nice,
it
too.
scary?
Mhm. You gonna see snakes on a plane?
No. I don't really like them to take him to R-rated movies, and
I don't
nobody
blame you.
listens to me.
Well, it's because the snakes remind me of Elmo thinking of snakes in his
Yeah.
world.
Mm.
Maybe
Elmo
you can
thinks
get
about
email from Oscar the Grouch about snakes, like the snake in the
There's all
can
my
trick, for
elements
instance.
for you.
And maybe Elmo can speak to a snake charmer or a snake basket about snakes.
My goodness, what you have all these sites?
Yep.
Yeah, let me write it down. Hmm.
Every time he
How come
gets
you have
tired
one
of
that
what
has
makes him
JP Ted puppet shows?
What?
How come there's one with JP Ted puppet shows?
Well,
You still do puppet shows?
You still don't.
I'm too exhausted for that one.
Yeah, I know.
You're too exhausted, they're too exhausting, aren't they? Teddy loves to do puppet shows. He does them at
Puppet
the
shows
nursing
exhaust me
home.
out too much.
Really?
Mhm.
Why do they exhaust you out?
Well, because I've done enough puppet shows lately.
Oh, did you do one for the twins?
Yes.
We did one for their first birthday,
I'm gonna save you pounds for the dog.
okay,
and Raymond went running from the room screaming
please.
oh my goodness, in fear.
That didn't help.
I couldn't get Elizabeth to get out from the back, she kept playing with the puppets.
Well, for the puppets.
So,
Alright.
we're gonna do it this year, but so much happened this year.
Mom, the car's ready.
Oh, good,
Oh.
tell them we'll be over in a couple hours, tell them we'll be over in a while.
We'll be over in a while. Hello?
They hung up?
Hello?
They hung up.
Yeah, Ted has expressions of puppet show at the wedding. And that's his expression that did not have a puppet show at the wedding. His expressions that he's going to see.
I thought you were having a 3-month moratorium.
We are. Oh. Ted's expressions.
Sorry, I'm on my cell phone with my secret operative, Sapphire 17. Well, what do you think about the war and terror about that? Just having to deal with this? Lose! He's broken loose! Well, that about that. Now it is. What's the deal with all the things that Bush had planned for America? It's nothing but the nonsensical ravings of a lunatic mind. Well, that too, but you know how it is, but is there any reason we can work for peace? You can do it. Yeah, it's just true. It's true, but what can we do about Osama? Oh, no prisons! Well, I know about that, but is there anything we can do? Oh, no prisons! Well, I know that, but is there any way we can work for peace? What's the outlook? Look out now. I get that. Well, we'll see that. Anyway, why don't we get to more of the show? Anyway, this is gonna take a while. Why don't we get to more of the show? You know, things are, but
Yeah,
You know, he's
It's an
videotaping,
account that only
Oh.
I am supposed to be able to write, to sign the checks.
uh-huh.
and because
But
it
anyway.
was on them, they just didn't question it.
Oh, you should see the checks that they accepted his signature.
Oh, it's amazing. So I said,
I mean, you know what Ted's signature looks like, so, and he just goes after
Yeah,
him.
you take a check and say, you know what, Harris is on it. Ed Harris, and it's
really?
in the coffin.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Is that, I thought you used your credit card for that. No, he wrote it.
I don't remember.
I don't, yeah, I'm not sure. I guess I probably
We're
assumed.
hanging on every word
Uh-huh.
here.
Yeah, I know. So, I called the company. I said,
Explain what
what's
happened.
happening? You know, I said, this is an autistic person has no idea what they did.
Mhm.
I said, you know, and they were very sympathetic to me and all. I said, can you tell me how much he spent so that I can cover, you know, I can do something.
Yeah.
They said, well, we can't because of the privacy law.
Oh, give me a break. But it's your bank account.
It's his. It's both of ours.
But, well, that's what I mean, your name's on it.
Yeah, didn't matter. He was the one who signed the check. He was the one whose name was on the account.
So
For
you
them.
went through the canceled checks?
What?
Couldn't
I didn't
you-
get the canceled checks.
The account doesn't
I mean,
provide you
this
with
this
Oh.
just apparently just, you know, he wrote one check every DVD.
Yeah, so you're at 29,
So
plus postage.
I went to the bank, you know,
Yeah.
and I said, what am I gonna do for this? You know, first I said, how come the bank accepted these checks when this account's supposed to be just me signing it? And they
Yeah,
said, if he walked into a bank with a check that he wrote and signed, the teller would
Would it
come up on
know?
the screen that I was the representative payee, and they would not
Mhm.
cash it. But if he writes a check to a third party,
but they didn't tell you that.
and it comes back to the bank, goes through the computer sees his name on the account,
Mhm.
and lets it go through.
Right.
So anyway, it came to $1,087. But I said to
I'm not
I mean,
laughing.
I said to the company, we're not keeping, you know, this is,
Yeah.
you can cancel it. They said, we can't cancel, we've already processed the orders, which was, I think, a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, they said, when the packages come, just refuse delivery, and we'll get them back, and then we'll
Straighten it
send
out.
you, you know, your refund. So, you know, the final package came, I think, 1st of August or something. And,
At least you caught the first package that came. Yeah.
well, he opened them because I had no idea what was going on. And of course, I
'Cause he
needed to
gets
know
the
what
mail.
his account
Yes.
was, the number, so that I could, you know, reference
Mhm.
it.
Well, that's interesting. And you know what people say to me? He's so independent.
I know, I know. That's what they, I mean, when I went to
Yeah,
the
we
bank, I
still
said, you know,
have
I am
that
amazed.
fun.
And I said, you know, I probably shouldn't say this to you,
That's
but I'm
fun.
amazed that he was able to do this.
This
Because
is
he hasn't
fun.
written the check in probably 10 years. And
This
to
is
figure
fun.
out,
And he didn't
you
order
know,
them all at the
he
same
didn't,
time.
he didn't write, he didn't fill out the order form, so he wrote a letter for each, I mean, this is what I'm figuring,
Yeah.
because he wrote a check for each
And a
DVD
company
order.
never looks at something like that and says,
That's
This
what one of
is
my
the
sisters
kid.
said, wouldn't they have, you know,
No,
I
they
said, you
don't-
know,
they don't give a
they
shit."
showed me the check on the screen that had already been submitted
Mhm.
on the bank screen. And it was written, you know, like a check should be written. So I said,
Yeah, it's
this
always
was
so
probably
frustrating.
I've gotten,
better
No.
than.
I've gotten
Our second
one or two, I think it was
bosses.
either the headstone or the coffin.
Our second piece of art is
One was because they wanted to know where to deliver, and the other was the handwriting was strange, of course, they don't normally go to a house.
Radio,
They go
Ted.
to 950 Manchester. What other stuff?
Hurry back, Ted.
I mean, the Nordic truck, he would meet the UPS truck.
The Nori truck, that one was hilarious. I was walking outside to go to work and I see him tiptoeing up the driveway with the garden car.
Excuse me.
With the garden
It's our
car.
age, we have no control anymore.
Oh, aren't you polite?
Tiptoeing up the driveway with the garden cart with this like
Hold on.
box as high, as tall as he is in it, tiptoeing along, and the thing is, he's getting away with it. And I said, Dad, what are you doing? He goes,
As if nobody would notice.
like, but the thing is, nobody was noticing, that was the thing.
No, we made the UPS truck. Oh, here, you know, what this, oh, great, you're here, I don't have to go in the driveway and.
Yeah, well, Chrissy has a special relationship with the
Well, I know.
postman anyway.
Yeah.
I guess I ordered that coffee that Dad must have figured I was pretty mad about something.
And what was going
Guess
on with the
so.
coffin again? I'm trying to remember. I
It
don't
was
think
a
I
whole,
was
Teddy,
around.
don't do it again.
Ever.
Alright,
We're
I won't.
talking, people talk about funny things that kids do before they know better, but once they
Yeah,
know better, it's
yeah,
not
that's not funny anymore.
Alright.
It's
But
ridiculous.
yeah, that takes a lot of initiative.
Was it a Halloween decoration or was it a real coffin?
It was a
A real call.
You ordered it for Halloween. I mean, you know, because people have coffins in their yard. And you found it in the back of a magazine. There are people who buy them and sleep in them and that kind of stuff. Kinky people. Well,
So,
that's exciting. What else
yeah,
happened this
yeah,
summer?
between that and my mother-in-law, it's been so.
Mother-in-law.
How's your mother-in-law?
Oh, jeez.
On her way
On
to the
her way.
promised land.
But it seems I'm the one that's always there when
What's the thing
crisis
goes wrong?
occurs.
Well, it amazes me, Martha isn't, it's like you're, usually the daughter's the one that's stuck. And
She
Martha's
worked that
like-
one out well, didn't she?
She sure did, never learned to cook.
Sorry. I was
They were
just primitive
teasing.
learning
You
how clean
guys
and
are
shitty
sister
the road
named Martha.
was.
Yeah, I remember meeting her at that time.
And they were
Learned.
teasing her, they bought her a cup of soup mix that was black bean soup,
Oh no, so she could
and they were passing it around because she doesn't cook.
Uh-huh.
And she prides herself on it, probably.
I
But
pride myself
Joanne
on not
makes-
cooking.
But Joanne makes all the Cuban food, so
And
whenever
you're
they
not-
have
Uh-huh.
a Cuban get-together,
Yeah.
Joanne makes all the food.
Uh-huh. And Martha just goes, oh, I don't.
Martha just comes as the honored guest, and they had this black bean soup, and they were passing it around, saying, here, Martha, you can finally cook. You can finally make black bean soup.
Put it in the
She just
microwave.
says She doesn't know how, so it's sort of funny,
I don't cook.
but it's the same with the other situation, because it's her mother,
Yeah.
and it's difficult.
John Paul, did
Oh.
you see Ted's Andy Warhol book? It's kind of interesting.
Why don't
Pretty
you
much.
sit down and look at it?
Yeah, one. One day John Paul will rise again. Who's with me?
Rise again,
I got an email from my sister Janice
What's
this
she
morning.
doing?
Well, she was doing fine until yesterday. She went to get gas.
John Paul rise again.
And-
Rise again, Ted.
You have to be careful in Florida
Mhm.
because the people rob you all the time.
Paul rise again.
Oh, well,
So
no.
she thought when she got out of the car that she locked the car, okay? She's standing right there, she's pumping her own gas.
The person in the car seat.
Somebody opened the passenger's, while she was pumping the gas, stole her purse.
That is unbelievable. I've never.
She
gone
said
to
she
Florida.
never had, she
They
had no
charge
idea
people
until
on-
Ted?
she opened
Ted
the
Harris?
door, the driver's
yelling
side door,
off.
and saw that the passenger's door was open, no right.
She didn't even see the person.
You know what, they were probably sitting there waiting all day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I thought, I said they were probably hiding in the bushes, just waiting for the opportunity.
Oh my God.
A friend of mine was in Starbucks in New York, and she was grading papers at a table. Her purse was right next to her the whole time. She never got up, never anything, somebody just came up and she was just sitting here like, hey, this was Lena. And they said to her, they said, well, yeah, it's extremely common, they hang out and stuff.
All of that. Sitting on the floor under the seat, and there was a family there. It was a couple of towhead kids, because they always tell you, be careful for the gypsies.
Yeah, right.
Couple of towhead kids and the parents, and one kid was playing on the floor. They scooped up the kid and left, and they took it. I don't know if they took her whole bag or the stuff that was in it, but it must have been the whole bag, 'cause they had her purse. So then they had to go to the police station. They were flying home the next day. They never saw it coming. Cause we thought, oh, I said they were gypsies, I said, were they gypsies? She said, no, they were little towheads, they were little kids. So here these people have their kids robbed.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people who, I was in a department store once and there was a woman who was being, smacked on the wrist for shoplifting, not even arrested, but smacked on the wrist, but she was working with her kid. And they were basically giving her a first offense smack on the wrist because she was really cute. She was probably late twenties, early thirties. And they were basically, she was crying and chagrined and blah, blah, blah. I could tell it was totally an act. The kid was going, come on, Mom, let's go, come on. The kid was probably about 6 or 7. And what they were doing apparently was she, you know, those big racks that are round, what she would do is she would park a bag under it. And then what she would do is she would take clothes off hangers and drop them and the kid would be under them putting them in the bag.
That's an old trick.
Well,
Well, there
one time
was
I
there
got
on
robbed.
the news, some guy was doing something at Home Depot or something, and they had video of the kid being sent in
To steal?
to steal, and then the father would come, you know, she would go out and meet the father outside or something.
Mhm.
You know, you would never thought that it would be
Right.
a kid, but they had it on video. I thought,
Oh
oh
my
my God.
Well, one time I was robbed at Suburban Street Station. I was robbed at Suburban Street Station. One guy took all my money.
Is that true or are you saying
It's
that?
true.
Well, how come you never told us about this before?
You were there by yourself
You know, I had to take the train home.
Who were you,
in Suburban Street Station?
You know,
how come you never told us about this before, Ted?
well, didn't want to worry you.
So I think we'll skip the Monday train ride.
Hey Ted,
Well, I like
Yeah.
the,
hey
Oh,
Ted,
yeah.
well, I do like the train
when
rides
did
home.
this happen? When was this?
2003.
Ted, that doesn't make us feel good. That's bad.
Who dropped you off at the station?
Jerry,
Okay, was this from Coalition Ingenue, or was it from
From
just a day in
Coalition.
Philly?
Coalition Angelo,
Okay, and how much money did they take?
$20.
What
And
happened?
what happened to your wallet and your driver's license and all that stuff?
I still have it.
You just handed them the money?
Yeah.
What did they say to you?
So what happened? They walked up to you
We
and
need to
said
hear
what?
the whole
You
story.
have to tell us the whole
There's a
story.
guy, there was a guy that came up and he told me he didn't have any money to get homeless, so I gave him a 20.
Ted, you know what?
He didn't
That's
rob you,
different, Teddy.
he panhandled.
That's
you.
panhandling, and you and I have talked at great length about panhandling.
And you don't give them money.
They always make up a story.
Mm-hmm.
I had somebody come up to me and say, I'm diabetic and I have to get my diabetes medicine, and oh wait, I think I'm having another dizzy spell. Whoa! I just turned around across the street and walked away.
No panhandlers.
It doesn't, I don't care if they don't have legs, I don't care if they don't have a head, Ted. You are not giving money to anyone unless I tell you.
Just say, gee, I was gonna ask you for some money.
A friend of mine, yeah, you should say I was gonna ask you the same thing. I get asked for cigarettes all the time. And I go, and I always say, I just bum one off that guy over there.
Wow.
And the other thing I get is,
Feels like,
Teddy, can I,
feels like just tell my give at the office.
Ted, say nothing and walk away. That's how it works. Say nothing, walk away.
Alright.
That also means that we can't let you be alone in town anymore.
Well, come on, I can handle myself.
Alright, well, we'll see, but you don't give people $20 bills.
Right.
And you
I'm
didn't get
sorry.
robbed.
If
so
you,
don't
if
say
you
got
waste money
robbed.
like that, Teddy, if you waste money like that, we can't let you have money. That
I'll
means
be,
we
I'll be
can't-
good, I promise.
Alright, that's enough.
I don't wanna discuss this
Okay,
any
Ted.
further.
We're done discussing
We're
it.
not discussing it anymore. A friend of mine moved to Seattle, and when he first moved there, he was having trouble finding his job and so on and so forth, so he had a period of time that things just weren't going so well. He was,
So what did you do
crashing on one
this
friend's
summer?
couch.
What did I do this summer?
He had, a girlfriend who was
What
basically
I did
giving
this
him
summer,
non-perishable
last month
groceries out of the fridge.
I
Just things
went
were
to a Bubble
really
Room
tight. I think what it was
restaurant,
that he had a
Where's
job that
that?
he, like, he was on a bi-weekly
at the-
pay period or something, so he was waiting for a
at
check or
the-
something. So he was out walking around. He had $1.45 in change in his pocket. And he was out walking around in Capitol Hill.
It was,
And somebody said, "Oh, I mean, keys for some change." And
Okay, I'll tell you what.
It was in Rhode Island.
I'm crashing on a friend's couch.
There was a bubble
I've got a
restaurant
bag
in
of
Rhode Island.
groceries.
Did you drink
And
that
I've got
bubble tea?
$1.45 in
Oh, okay.
nickels.
Do you know what
Takes it
bubble
out of
tea
his
is?
pocket and goes,
What's that?
okay, now how many of
It's
these
a tea
nickels
that
should I
they
give
put
you?
big
And he
balls
goes,
of tapioca in it.
Oh. I had roast beef instead.
Oh, you had roast beef. What did you have to drink?
Hmm. What did I have to drink?
When?
At the bubble restaurant in Rhode Island.
It wasn't Rhode Island,
No. It was a
Captiva.
Captiva Island. It was a Captiva Island. I was wrong.
Oh, you went to
What's-
Captiva.
What's a,
Yeah.
Florida.
what's the bubble restaurant?
It's
so
a
bubble
little restaurant.
Bubble Room Restaurant.
That's the
It's
name
full
of
of
it.
everything in there.
Yeah, it's very eclectic.
Uh-huh. What did it look like?
A restaurant with everything, especially animals and
Mhm.
instruments,
Mm-hmm.
musical instruments.
That's cool.
It's like a
There's
flea market.
like a flea market.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there was all kinds of stuff on the walls,
That's
you know,
really
one
cool.
of those places.
Uh-huh.
I don't, well, let's see, you probably had a Coca-Cola Classic for dinner,
Mhm.
to drink. Or no, maybe iced tea.
Iced
I don't
tea.
remember.
Did you hear about his dolphin experience?
Did you swim?
Uh-huh.
What
Yeah.
happened?
He was in the ocean.
Oh.
We went to the beach, and my sisters and I are sitting on the beach, and John falls in the water, and all of a sudden this big black thing comes out about 3 feet away from him.
And what was it?
It was a dolphin.
Did you pet it?
No, I didn't pet it.
Didn't cure your autism or anything, did you?
No.
You gotta keep that.
That's right.
You like autism.
Can't get rid of the autism.
That dolphin was trying to bother us on purpose.
I don't
On
think-
porpoise,
On
yeah.
He
porpoise.
was saying hi to us.
Who told you that joke?
He did, he made
You
it
made
up.
it up?
Yeah.
John Paul, you are
Yeah.
evolving.
You're
And
amazed.
porpoise?
Yep.
That was exciting.
I think he just wanted to check
Oh
you
my
out.
gosh, so what did
Yeah.
you think it was?
Well, I was up out of my chair screaming, thinking it was a shark. And everybody on the beach.
It was not a shark. It was a dolphin.
No, that's
It was a
right,
dolphin.
that's right.
Where were you
Perfectly
lucky?
safe.
Yeah.
It's
You were
perfectly
lucky.
safe.
I thought it was also manatee.
See,
Yeah,
that's
he
because you
did that
have
as
a
a
good
manatee.
karma.
There was no manatee on that
We
beach.
figured he was probably out there singing, and the dolphins apparently respond to,
Were you
Noise.
singing in the water?
but he said no, he
No.
wasn't, but he said he's probably talking to himself.
Oh my God.
The dolphin came to see what was going on.
Mhm.
Probably thought you were telling him a story.
Uh-huh.
These two crabs walk into a bar. They said, "Do you serve crabs here?"
That is amazing. So
only
what else did you
season.
do in Florida besides the bubble restaurant and the dolphin swimming, the involuntary dolphin swimming?
We went on a boat. We saw dolphins there.
Did you?
Mhm.
It was what was that boat again?
I don't remember what it was called. It was just a sightseeing boat.
It was the good ship lollipop?
Is the computer working?
Is he on the? Oh,
he's
no,
not talking to himself.
Limerick.
And
Limerick?
Limerick, oh, was it the Limerick? Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, it
Maybe,
probably was, yes, it was an
the-
Irish company that was running the boat, so it probably was
Obviously.
called Limerick.
Right.
obviously.
That's cool. So you got to see dolphins on porpoise and not on porpoise.
Yeah.
Not on porpoise, indeed.
And you had to put up with your mother and 2 aunts
Mm-hmm.
for
Did
3
you
days.
enjoy yourself with your aunts? You don't get to see them too often.
Right?
Just not. That's right.
Then you saw your grandmother,
Yeah.
How's your mother doing?
fine.
Good for her. And she's living with Jackie?
Mm-hmm. She was, what do you call it, pernicious anemia, so she needs a shot of B12 once a month.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, she's 89 years old.
Good for her.
And sometimes I'll talk to her and she'll say, oh, I'm just feeling lazy today, I don't think I'll do much of anything. I said, who cares?
You're up, you're breathing.
Any day above ground's gotta be a good day.
Right, no broken bones.
Right, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I gotta
Holy
get some
cow.
B12. That actually sounds pretty good. it's working for her, it'll
Well,
probably.
people used to get B12 shots all the time.
Yeah, I know
My
they
mother
did.
would get them.
Uh-huh.
Real lousy, she'd go and get a B12
Right,
shot.
yeah.
Yeah, your insurance doesn't cover them. I mean, it
But
covers
because
them
of
for
the
people who
pernicious
need them.
anemia, I mean,
Yeah.
that's what she needs, and then but she gets forgetful, because see, when she was diagnosed with it, I explained it to her, I told her, remember mom, this isn't, like the old days, people don't die from this, all you need is a B12 shot once a month and you'll be fine. Oh, okay, yes, I understand. And then, I guess last month, she was saying, oh, I'm not feeling real good. I said, well, have you had your B12 yet? No, I don't think I have had that yet. I said, Mom, you need that once a month for the pernicious anemia. What pernicious anemia?
Oh, no.
Oh,
I said,
Oh,
the pernicious anemia you've had for a couple of years now. I never knew I had pernicious anemia. Well, that means I'm gonna die.
Mom,
I've had it for
My
2
sister,
years.
be careful. So she went into her room and she closed the door, she went to bed, she wouldn't talk to anybody for a day, because she thought she was gonna die.
Oh, no.
Sister said, oh, thanks a lot, Joanne.
Yeah.
Had I known that it had gone, I
You
would
didn't know it wasn't
have
there
approached it
anymore.
in a different way.
Remember, I told you, well, you just need a shot, it'll give you a little pep.
Yeah.
Call it a pep shot.
Pep shot.
I can pass one.
So
And
she
then she'll
seemed to
say,
get
oh,
over it.
I couldn't sleep, it must have been from that pep shot. And then Janice will say, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if these are his or Ted's.
I've been working at, Historic Philadelphia decided to build a carousel miniature golf course in Franklin Square Park at Sixth and Grace Streets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is great, but I am so out of shape. And I'm only working there for 3 weeks. But I'm so out of shape. What?
Nothing, I'm just laughing at you. Think how hard that would be compared to nursing.
What is it that,
She
what is it
sells
that you're
tickets
doing?
all
Oh, you
day.
sell tickets,
I
okay.
sell tickets.
Okay.
It's really a no-brainer job, but it's really fun.
That's probably why it's tiring.
Are you
Probably
standing, you
more.
have to stand up all day? All right.
Yeah.
Don't they give you a little seat,
Yeah, they give me a little seat. I just
large stool?
They give me a little stool, but it's easier if I don't use it. It's a pain in the neck to get on and off the chair all the time. The other thing is,
rolling seat.
they, really what it is it's keeping kids from hitting each other with golf clubs.
Oh, good.
No lightsabers, guys, no lightsabers, not a lightsaber,
Ah.
not a lightsaber. And the new thing is, my favorite new thing, because I really don't care, because I'm only there for another week and a half. I really don't care. If kids start climbing on things, I just yell, get off. I don't go, please don't climb on the Ben Franklin Bridge, please don't climb on the Art Museum. Because if I say, please don't climb on the Art Museum, what they hear inexplicably enough is climb on the Art Museum. Even though I'm walking at a very fast pace across the golf course going, please don't climb. No. They think I'm encouraging them. So now what I do is I just go, get off!
Gets their attention.
It's great.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you get to
Great.
get paid to tell people to
Get
get off
off.
of that?
And what does their parents say?
The parents get really embarrassed, it's great.
Oh, they don't take offense?
They- oh.
Talk too much, Charles.
Ashley,
My
Christopher!
perfect child, my perfect child.
Perfect, oh God, I've seen so many perfect children,
Oh,
it's
God, if
disgusting.
I ride with another one on an airplane, I think I'm gonna jump out.
Oh, God.
Actually, what I loved
That's the
was,
worst.
what I loved was when I worked at Borders.
Plus they get so much more room and then they still have to keep your seat.
What I loved was when I worked at Borders and little old Indian men come in and go, my granddaughter is a positively delightful and extremely bright and very gifted child. What food would you recommend for her? Well, how
She's
old is
1
she?"
year old.
She's 2 now, but she's reading at a much higher level. She's an extremely bright and gifted child. You know, and then you're like, okay, well, here's a book for a 3-year-old. This should be slightly above her level. No, she's terribly gifted. All right, here's the short stories of Roald Dahl.
Yeah.
Oh, do they take it?
Here's some William S. Burroughs. Maybe she'll like
Yeah,
that.
right.
Here's some Charles Bukowski.
Or do you just give her the Jungle Book?
Yeah.
Yeah. Give her this to read, take her back to India.
My child is extremely gifted. Meanwhile, the kid's like,
Oh, the-
spend so much time together, don't they?
Yeah, I know. They
They
the
just like
Timothy
to be
school,
in each other's orbit.
the Timothy school staff goes out apparently for happy hour
Uh-huh.
the day before the last day of camp, okay?
So they
Camp
take
was,
John Paul?
they came out to the car about a couple days ahead of time and said, we'd like to take John Paul with us to happy hour on Thursday after work. Looked at them, he said, we'll take him, from work and we'll bring him home. We promise we won't bring him drunk.
Did they give him a drink?
He wouldn't have drank.
I know, I can't drink, I'm
Well, I said,
autistic.
okay, he's all yours. So he comes rolling in around 4:30.
Oh, 2 hours in a bar. Whoa.
I said, how was it? He said, well, I had a really nice time. I said, you did? He said, yeah, I like my friends at Timothy School better than my autistic friends because they don't bug me. Ever truthful.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Well,
funny.
that's one of the things that I noticed about, like, one of the things I would love about Tim's birthday parties is how they all sit around and talk to each other. Because it's not like, if you meet somebody who's mainland Chinese and you don't understand them, they can understand other Chinese people. But you put a whole bunch of autistic people in a room, they've all got communication difficulties, it's not
Yeah.
like they all magically have the same language.
Right.
So they sit here going, I can remember, who was that kid with the eyebrows? Michael Ashnow?
Oh, yeah.
That
Oh,
really,
yeah.
that really obnoxious kid who was like, Daddy, how come when you eat, you always eat with your mouth open? Hey, Daddy, how come, hey, Daddy, how come your dad calls you Teddo?
Did he really? I don't remember him doing
God,
that.
that kid was so
Who
annoying.
it is, he was, well, you see, we carpooled with him, for camp.
Okay.
and the first time, and the deal was,
Yeah.
I think that his father probably always let him stuff when he was there, like they drive one way and I drive one way, or whatever we did in our carpool. But they would, however we took turns driving, I would take turns letting Ted sit in the back one time and Michael sit in the back the other time. Cause he's always, I wanna be in the front, I wanna be in the front. So, the first time he got in the front of the car, before I had the door closed, and every radio station changed. I thought it would kill him.
He was, he's just one of those real, kids.
Well, they
Yeah.
never medicated him. And he was sort of hyperactive.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
they-
I remember that.
but it was tolerable,
Right, yeah.
so.
No, it wasn't, I wanted to kill him.
Uh-huh.
The first time I ever met him, he came to one of his birthday parties, he was dressed in a devil costume, I was scared to death. I was like, does anyone know who this kid is?
Well, I hate to tell you, but of all the kids, he was probably the one we all would have traded for because he wasn't that difficult.
Right.
No,
But at any rate, he would always say, Ted did say, why did that call you Ted, blah, blah, blah. I said, "Oh, that's what she told me."
but one time Dad was in the car with them and they
Water.
Thank you.
Oh, that was very
It was
nice.
very
Thank you,
nice.
Ted.
It's all right,
Ted,
you don't have to
Ted
take
and
your
Mike,
glass back.
Ted and Mike Lash, I got in the car, and Dad goes, hey, Tedder, how's it going? And he goes, Teddo, why is he calling you Teddo? Why is he calling you that? And Ted goes, my father's just being affectionate.
Are you filming us?
I used to.
Have you been filming us all this time, Ted? Why don't you film John Paul? He's the one you want to film.
Yeah.
Besides, John Paul's much more interesting than we are.
I used to take Elliot home
Mm-hmm.
from camp. But Elliot was a talker,
Oh, really?
Oh,
you
he's
see,
Shut up.
and it was a long ride.
Oh,
Mm.
no.
And we finally had to, compromise, and Elliot was allowed to ask John Paul 3 questions.
Is that what you did?
Yes.
I always think it's funny the way the kids, instead of asking, will ask you.
Yeah.
They'll walk up to me and say, why Ted, blah, blah,
Oh,
blah,
yeah,
blah,
that
blah.
was-
And they'll walk up to you and say, why does John Paul, blah, 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 blah.
And I finally learned to say, well, you'll have to ask John Paul.
Yeah, and I get dumb enough and try and answer the question, and it's something that I really don't want to explain, cause it's none of their damn business.
Yeah, I send it because I figure,
Funny,
you're gonna tell me.
Isn't it funny how some of those kids are really question kids?
and some of them, like Heather McFall.
Oh, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Heather McFall drives me insane,
Oh,
and the other
yeah.
thing is that what we did last year at Ted's
You
birthday
should
was
see
I
her
found,
around Nancy. Oh my God.
guess what? Heather McFall came out of the closet.
Where did she get that from?
I mean exactly what I said.
Oh,
Heather
didn't
McFall's a
know that.
lesbian.
who told you that?
James. Ted, he said it in front of Ted.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Which explains, why she won't leave, she doesn't leave girls alone at parties, she's always following them around, asking them questions. Think about it.
I thought that it was just the novelty of Nancy being there and being somebody new.
It probably was.
That sort of thing.
It probably
Because we were
was.
at the Lynn Villa, I guess, and Nancy came and had a hayride before I started boycotting Lynn Villa.
Yeah. Well, she wouldn't
My
stop.
one woman boycott.
Yeah.
Sales are down, one apple.
One time she wouldn't stop we were all over here for Ted's birthday and she wouldn't stop asking the questions. Finally, I dragged her and Ted out on the porch with a video camera and said, okay, it's Ted Harris, the definitive interview. And just let her, go until finally she was like, I don't have any more questions to ask. Great.
Yeah, it's amazing how the difference, I mean, there just seem to
Yeah.
be two classes.
Yeah,
Ones who don't wanna be bothered
there's
and the
ones
other
that
ones who
really-
won't shut up.
Yep, the ones that are like, I'm a performer, stand back.
Well, it's interesting, the statistic for autism is 1 in 166
I know.
on the advertisement on TV.
Mm-hmm,
When our kids were in school, it was 1 in 5,000,
right,
and mostly boys.
mostly boys. 4
Somebody-
out of 5
so-
are boys.
So,
Yeah, what happened?
Somebody
They're
lined it
diagnosed,
up.
they're giving the diagnosis to
everybody
now.
It lost
you-
its stigma.
And because you can get
it's,
funding for it now, too.
I think it's
Because I guess
think
they
it's
were
the
all the
cute
kids
disease.
that were
Mhm.
SED.
Yeah,
Are
right,
now.
are now autistic.
I was sitting at church talking to this kid for like a half an hour. His mother sits down and she says, oh, he's a little bit autistic. Who? Me? Honey, I'll show you this. I have movies.
I can remember Charlie Dennis and I went to a lecture once by, what's her name? Temple Grandin. And we walked out, we looked at each other and we said, we'll show you autism.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. I get really offended because there are a lot of adults that are like, well, I've discovered that because I'd rather be at home on the internet all day, I think I might be a little bit autistic. And it's like, no, you're not. Well, because I don't communicate with others, then I'd rather be at home on the internet all day.
75% of men.
Shut up and get outside. Shut up and go outside.
75?
No,
How
that's
generous
that's-
of you.
yes, I know,
That's very
I know.
generous of you.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, my amazing reporting plea. Here is Rodolfo, the amazing
Ted, you
reporting
have that on,
plea.
don't you?
He is
You have
going
that
to
camera.
jump from there to there to there to there to there on top of Jumbo's head. Drum roll, please.
Teddy, there's nothing,
Meow!
He landed on
Cole. Rodolfo made contact with the cat.
listen, Teddy, there's nothing on my
I missed
head.
them.
I was pretending.
It was a joke, he was
I know.
pretending.
It was,
No.
just a joke, John Paul, it was a joke, okay?
like the porpoise.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah,
just
like
amazed at these kids, but,
I figured I had to break the ice somehow.
I know I told you this, they had an autism
I
care,
remember.
one of the new autistic groups.
Uh-huh,
I
don't
figured
know
I
if
had to break
I'm
the
involved
ice
in-
somehow.
No.
I don't even get a news out of it.
been there, done that.
And, they had a booth uptown when they had when there's super strong flea market.
Oh,
and
yeah.
things,
Uh-huh.
And they parents had a booth. Oh, well, good for them.
What
Yeah.
on? Rodolfo's
Good for them with your-
please.
Actually, what really annoyed the hell out of me was when Time Magazine had the big article about him a few months ago. It was
Yeah.
really
Oh.
easier. And they had the kid
Oh.
who was so cute. The perfect blonde, skinny, snaggletooth, adorable little kid with a slightly misty look in his eye. I was like, they're not all cute.
No, but I can remember, back
That
in
was
the old days.
The old days,
that-
they always said that they were
that they were
good-looking children.
good-looking
Yeah.
children.
Ted
for
was,
whatever reason.
Ted was an insanely cute kid. I'm
Yes,
sure
so was
John
he.
Paul was an insanely
I was
cute
too.
kid.
I
It's
can remember
beautiful.
the first time I saw John Paul walking across the street and I said, "Who's that?" And somebody said, "That's John Paul Gomez." I said, "Nobody with curly hair like that named John Paul Gomez can possibly be autistic."
And look how wrong you were.
You
It's the
and,
autism
you and
that
many
makes him cute.
psychologists
Yeah.
for many years. But, you know, so. But,
I think
you know,
that, but I
just
think
like,
that's why so many people say, you're going, oh, well, I might be a little bit autistic. No, you're not, you're just.
yeah, right. I didn't think that it.
You
it
say
don't
that,
know what
you
autism
ask them,
is.
you say now, when you were little, did you play with what's in your diaper? No. Did you, I come up with these really horrible things, like, you know, did you stick peas up your nose? And did you scream all night? No, I didn't do anything like that.
Then
Forget it.
Forget it.
Did you scream every time you passed a street sign with an E and an R in it?
Can you remember what your mother said to you
On-
25 years
right,
ago?
can you remember
On
what
the
you-
day,
Yes.
the day of the week.
Okay, October 25th, 1971.
Yes,
What was the weather that? What was the weather at 2:37 p.m.?
Uh-huh.
What day of the week?
Right.
Oh, man.
Okay, I'm gonna move your wristwatch 4 inches to the left. Does it make you want to go?
Right.
Are they making fun of us, John Paul?
Do you ever watch Monk?
No,
Oh,
but he's
that's-
OCD, right?
Yeah, I know, but
Uh-huh.
he's got
I
some
love
real
the
good
idea, though.
behaviors.
He's-
Lou and I are
Yeah.
getting hysterical.
Just
I was trying to
Expression.
watch it, Ed wouldn't watch it, but I wanted to watch it only because I had heard so much
Funny
about it, that
show.
it's really a funny show,
Oh, it
but
is.
Ed
It's a-
doesn't
it's
care
a
for
funny-
that actor.
Oh, well,
So, cause he used to be the guy on,
Wings.
Wings.
oh, yeah,
And I
that's
thought
right,
that was
yeah.
the-
He used to be
remember
Toby
the-
Ford
yeah,
now,
wow.
on like every show on NBC.
So,
Yeah.
so I thought he was, had an accent. Again, he's totally different.
Oh,
My
yeah.
mom
Oh, no,
completely
it's so
different.
funny.
The
But
whole
this
thing
guy
seems a
because
private
so
eye
many
because
things.
he's OCD. Like he can
Yeah, he
detect all
can't
the
work,
details
he
and stuff like that.
can't work on the, force, you know, because he's just too handicapped, but, you know, some of the things that he does, you know, are just
I'm
hit right
curious
home.
about that show. Ted, remember the conversation that you and me and James have had about, if you ever get pulled over by the cops, what do you do?
Lindsay, who tells him stuff like that?
Me and James. That's if I get pulled over for speeding with Ted in the car. And if anybody hassles us on the street when we're walking around, what do we do, Ted?
Rock
Wrong.
and roll. Hey, it got me right on an airplane with 2 seats together one time.
How'd you do that? What'd you do?
Good job.
Well, Jumbo and I were going to England,
Mhm.
and we were flying from Philadelphia to Newark, and then
That's
Newark
exciting.
to London.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we were
Yes.
gonna meet my sisters there, they were coming from Miami. So, we get to Philadelphia, and the little shuttle plane is half an hour late, okay, at least a half an hour late, okay?
That's not good.
So by the time we get to Newark, and of course, they left us off like here, and the Virgin Air was over here, okay? So, we get off the plane, we get our luggage, and, no, we didn't need our luggage, we had, well. But anyway, we ran all the way, from there to there, and me yelling, come on, we're gonna miss the plane, We get to Virgin, and they said, you know, we're already started boarding, and I said, you know, well, we just got here, and I need, you couldn't get your seat assignment before you got on the plane,
Oh.
okay? So I said, you know, I need 2 seats together. Well, there aren't any they said, we don't have 2 seats together now, because it's, you know, they've already
Yeah.
boarding. And I said, so meanwhile, Mr. Gomez is behind me, rocking and rolling. And I said, well, I said, okay, just give me what you have, I gotta get on this plane.
JP, we're not laughing at you, we're laughing at the
That's-
situation.
All of a sudden, somebody comes from out of a door,
Uh-huh.
looks up and says, here's 2 seats together.
Uh-huh.
I said, oh, thank you.
Oh, they had a family member?
No, they had somebody from Virgin Air must have been watching us from
So
behind
this
the door
this
and
is what
came
was
up
going
with,
on.
did something,
That's
and
amazing
got two
move.
seats together.
We're laughing with you, not at
We're
you.
laughing at the
Oh,
situation.
my, so we called it John Paul rockin' and rollin' ever
Rock and
since.
roll.
Then you rock and roll for a
Yeah.
good seat on the plane.
Mhm.
Yes.
I don't think
We're
travel's
laughing with
cracked
you,
all
not
it's
at
cracked up to
you.
be.
What?
I don't think travel's all that cracked up to be.
John
I
Paul,
kinda
we
wanna
love you so
go to sleep
much.
here and wake up there and
Yeah.
let that be it.
Wouldn't that
John
be
Paul,
nice?
John Paul, John Paul, John Paul. Look at.
Were you guys just affectionate with each other? That's crazy. I thought you guys didn't even like each other.
Yeah. I know. Water under the bridge, right?
Whatever.
I said.
What does water, do you know what water under the bridge means?
It means it's you're thinking about a detail that's gone, that's long gone.
Yeah. Well,
No sense thinking about it anymore, it's already done.
water. 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 Water.
What water is that?
Water.
Agua.
Oh my god.
H2O. Wasser.
Agua.
Agua. Whoosh.
I remember that TV show. You can't do that on television. It used to be on TV since a long time
There,
ago.
now
I
it's
seen
yeah,
that
yeah,
for years.
Dad.
Do that, maybe.
What
we
is
can
this,
do it.
Luigi?
Did you see it on TV, or did you give a DVD?
I've seen it on TV. I don't have a DVD of that one.
Do you remember what year it was?
It was back in 1981.
But we're,
But see, the thing
we're
is,
better.
we take his word
But
for
we're-
it though, I mean,
Well, there's no sense in arguing with him,
That's
because he's
true.
usually right. But we're getting better, because it used to be the day of the week, the month, the date.
That's not bad,
So now it's
I
just
would
the year.
encourage that.
Oh, absolutely, because
Yeah.
this is a sign of more
Getting
socialization.
looser, okay.
No.
When they lose that
That's
savant kind of
Yeah, that
stuff,
restraint.
Mhm.
because they've become more socialized, so,
Oh.
at least I tell myself.
Yeah.
All right, John Paul, you ready?
Ready?
Jimmy,
Well,
Okay.
thanks for coming, I guess we should have gone
Thank
for
you
a
very
walk or
much.
something.
Jimmy, it's awful good to see you.
Oh,
Take care,
Lindsay can
Ted.
do that.
All
Jimmy
right.
can do
I-
that.
I'm used
That's
to
what I'm
doing
here for.
this.
All right.
Okay.
Of course.
I know.
I trust you know the way out.
No, you can walk him
You
down.
have to walk him down, Ted.
Mm.
You have to be a polite host.
Oh. Wait a second, put your shirt down, John Paul.
Did you see my new car?
No, I didn't.
Do you wanna see it?
Yeah, is it parked out here?
Yeah.
Okay.
oh, they're being silly.
You wanna see my new car, John Paul?
Yeah, wait, let's
See
see.
Mom's new car?
Teddy calls it a clown car.
Cause it is.
Car looks like a clown car.
Mom, you left your top down and your stuff in the back seat.
My pottery
Why didn't you just leave a big sign up that said please feel?
Convertible. You have a new one? You don't have that with you?
Ted and I are gonna make our own Oxford Memorial stickers.
Yeah. Wrong. What?
John Paul, did you
The
make some
Oreo.
summer project here?
He's got plants, he's got chives, catnip, mint, and
Well, you've pretty much gotten the idea about all this terrorism that's been going on and all this war that's been going on. And the war on terror. And we can hope and pray that nuclear war will never happen. We have to make sure that nuclear war will never happen. I only hope that other nations, Middle East, Russia, England, Canada, and all other nations will work for peace. Anyway, a lot of things that happened. And not only did not see Ben Stiller this week, he couldn't make it. Thank goodness. And Paris Hilton didn't make it either. And we pretty much get the idea of why we're fighting this war, but we have to use our efforts to war for peace. And we get the idea. Anyway, Anyway, that's all the time we have for today. So we agree that Harris Puppet Shows is for you. So see you next time.